So I am sitting here in H110 at Concordia University before a screening of The Big Wait with Dr. Amouzou, who is a physician in Montreal and is part of a group that tackles some of the issues that are brought up in The Big Wait. So first of all, what's the group you belong to and what's your position and what do you guys do?
Okay, I'm the president of Médecins d'Ailleurs. Médecins d'Ailleurs is an NGO, non-profit organization, and we advocate for foreign graduate doctors to let them practice in Canada. And also we'll help them in terms of counseling. When new doctor immigrants arrive in Canada, we give them advice how to find a temporary job and also what are the requirements to pass the exam of collège de médecins.
Is there a lot of people that need help and assistance? Is this a big problem, essentially?
Yeah, in Quebec, actually, we have more than 3,000 foreign graduate doctors who cannot practice, who are still expecting one day to get into the system. And I can tell you, I think for those doctors who immigrated in Canada, and they were hoping one day to help the Canadian population instead of giving them the service required, and also to have the government to provide service to the population. And I think in Quebec you have 3,000, in Ontario is 7,500 IMG who cannot practice.
Okay, and we were talking earlier that it's actually a problem all throughout Canada, right? It's not just in Quebec and in Ontario.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah.
I've been living in Montreal for 7 years, and I can't find a family doctor, and yet every once in a while I take a cab, and it's driven by someone who was a doctor in another country and can't become a doctor in Canada, at least very easily. What's the problem? There's a need for doctors, and then there's all these doctors coming to the country and to the province. So where is the problem?
I think there is a joke, you know. The joke is about this question. They ask you which city in Canada where you have a chance to survive for a heart attack.
Okay.
And the answer is Montreal. So why in Montreal? Because all cab drivers are doctors. Yeah, this is a very sad situation, and we are immigration country, and our system of immigration is a selective, one, because we bring to the country very highly qualified immigrants.
Yeah.
So, and one of the focuses of the immigration is to the demographic deficit,
Yeah.
and then the economic prosperity, you understand? And also those immigrants here, when they come to Canada, they are like ambassadors from their country. And there's a link between Canada and the world,
Yeah.
So when they arrive here, I think if you want our immigration to be useful for the Canadian population, we have to make those immigrants taxpayers.
Uh-huh.
So up to now, I can understand, our politicians, decision makers, how they cannot think and find an appropriate solution to put those immigrants, in the working market, because the population need them. So that means we have to change our paradigm, how we think that we must practice medicine. And I think today, with the globalization, immigration, and diversity, they impact our way of doing things. And Canada has to change, We have to change our mentality.
What's the problem that's stopping the political will to put these doctors and these highly trained immigrants, as you say, to work? Is it some kind of xenophobia, or is it this fear of people coming from other countries that might have different standards of practice, or is it just completely just a lack of sensitivity to cultural difference? What do you think is the main problem?
The obstacles are at every level. The first level is people come here they have to take exam again. Those people has already doctors.
Right.
They finish all their studies, and now they have to take again exam. So we have the financial obstacle. I mean, those exams are very expensive. So it become now a way from certain organization to make money on behalf of immigrants,
Yeah.
And I can tell you through that movie, IMG, they spend more than $20,000,
Uh-huh.
So these all their fortune just to have the recognition of diploma. And also the obstacle can be administrative obstacle, For example, sometimes they don't have enough information, or sometimes they have misinformation. And also there is what I can call corporatism obstacle, because all the medical professional association are protecting their members,
Right.
their member. And also discriminatory obstacle.
Yeah.
Because medicine is a field where we deal with a big amount of money,
Yeah.
Healthcare in Canada is a big company, big provider of jobs, salaries. So doctor and those professional corporations are keeping the business for themselves,
Yeah.
for their family, and for their descendants. So they don't want immigrants to come and jump in something lucrative for them.
It's okay for the immigrants to come and clean the clinic,
Yeah.
but not to practice medicine in the clinic, right?
To be doctor.
Yeah.
See. And a few years ago, in 2007, here in Quebec, I brought that case to the in front of Human Rights Commission.
Okay.
And they investigate during 3 years. And the conclusion of their report is, yes, foreign doctors are discriminated on the basis of their national origin and at the basis of the origin of the diploma.
So it's systematic discrimination is
Systematic
definitely one of the
discrimination
big
within the
obstacles.
system,
Okay.
yeah.
So I think that's surprising for a lot of people, considering that that they consider this a democratic system and a public healthcare system. I know you watched The Big Wait. Do you feel like it's a good film for people to understand some of the problems? A good introduction?
Yeah, I think from the beginning, maybe somebody had to explain what is it,
Yeah.
At the beginning of the film, that big seduction, people need family doctor, they don't have.
Yeah.
And actually in Quebec, we are talking about 2 million of people without family doctor,
Yeah.
And also, I think for us, Ontario, every year, book 200 positions for IMG, those who want to go to residency. And in Quebec, it's only between 55 and 65 a year, which is not enough,
Yeah.
So, and I hope that the federal government has to get involved in this, and also provincial government, and also the grassroots initiative,
Yeah.
has to get involved. We are citizens, we need a doctor, and now the demand is very high, So everybody has to get involved to find a solution.
Great. Well, I'm glad there's people like you working with the grassroots, the government, and coming to film screenings like ours. Thank you, Dr.
Okay.
Amouzou.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.